Hey guys, if you are like me and in the morning you really need to just get your body moving, get the blood flowing around your body, and to help alleviate some of the tight areas, maybe from what you've done the day before or maybe from the lack of what you've done the day before. Either way, here is a short movement sequence that you can do just to open your body up when you get out of bed. Or you can do it while you're in bed. But here's some content for free to have a play and use it when you get out of bed, and hopefully you feel awesome for it. We're going to start working from the base of the body all the way to the top. And the first thing I like to do in the morning is just to stretch into the soles of my feet, wiggle about through the toes, give my feet a little bit of love. So we're going to hook the toes and then just feel that lengthening in the sole of the foot. Move side to side, notice how that feels, and it might feel uncomfortable, but there's a difference between feeling pain and there being any sort of sharp pain sensation, which we don't want, and it's just getting comfortable sitting here. Maybe then taking one foot up and putting an extra amount of pressure through that one side, and then switching them over, wiggling about. And then from there, we're going to go through a little sequence for the ankles. So with the toes hooked, I'm now going to unhook the toes and keep the feet side by side. From there, I can lift one knee up, or I can lift both up. And I can use the assistance of my hands, or take the hands away and then just rock in and out of that position. So I'm raising the legs up. Here I'm feeling like a really nice opening into the front of the top of my foot and into my shins. And then from there, I'm going to go back, hook the toes, wiggle about, see if I can then transition into a squat. Don't worry if you can't get your heels down, go to where you can. This will actually help your ankles. If we're not getting the heels down, probably lacking mobility there. So we're just going to sit into this squat, move about in the squat, get lots of heat into the ankle joint, and then come up onto the tiptoes. Use your hands again to come down. Maybe if you're not using your hands, you want to focus on control. So we move super slow. You might lose your balance a little bit, having to really concentrate. And then unhook the toes, lift the knees, and go back. So the slower we move through a range, the more control and awareness we're going to develop in those positions. Whereas if I just let my knees drop, all I'm doing is just using momentum to go in and out of those positions instead. So I'm going to go up high, lower the knees slowly, unhook the toes, lift the knees, maybe hang out here for a bit, hook the toes, and then see, can I transition back slower with more control. So now that ankles are super warm, all we're going to do is come down and work into the wrists. We'll have the fingertips towards the knees and the heels of the hands away. And then once we're in that position, notice if you're not really feeling a lot going on, take them a little bit further. Depending on how flexible or mobile your wrists are, will determine where you're going to want to place your hands. So we can make circles and just move around, keep changing direction. And then from there, we take the heels of the hands together and just move side to side. Coming into the flexion of the wrist, we're going to go onto the back of the hand. And then on this one, you might find that you go back to both hands and the elbows are really bent like this. So all I'm going to do is turn the armpits of the elbows forwards, which is a rotation happening in the shoulder that allows me to extend my arms. And all I'm doing now is just gently rocking in and out. So if this feels too intense, you can go closer to the body and just put a bit more weight in the legs, or maybe just do one hand at a time. Once you've had enough of that one, we'll release the hands and then let's make some circles. So tense the fists, create some tension in the body, keep breathing, preferably in and out of the nose, and then make circles. Then the other way. And then give them a shake out. So from here we'll go for a little bit of a flow just to get heat throughout the whole body. From all fours, we'll start with some cat and cow just to work through the spine. So I want you to think about each vertebra of the spine as like a separate segment in your back. And we're going to start to press through one segment at a time. So I tuck the bum under, press through the lower vertebra and start to work my way up the back. Then I'm in the center of the back, and now I'm working up towards into the shoulder blades, really spreading them across the back. At the same time here, I'm pulling my belly button to my spine. Slightly tuck the chin. Feel that space that you're creating all the way through the back. Again, moving slowly is far better than if we're just kind of pressing up as one unit here. We actually want to just work through each little segment. So working all the way up to the top. Then from there, we're going to switch and go the other way. So we're going to tilt the pelvis forwards, sticking the bum out. Pelvis keeps tilting, belly draws down towards the ground. And we're coming into this spine extension now, where I'm arching the back. If I grip the ground with the hands and I'm squeezing the heel of my hand towards my knee and the front of my knee towards the heel of my hand, so they're squeezing together, that creates a bit more tension. The shoulder blades come down into the back, make sure that we're not hunching like this. So draw them down, create space at the neck. And now I'm looking forwards. So what I'm not doing is throwing the head up, just look ahead, keep the head in a nice position. And then from there again, reverse it, curling up the back. Tuck the chin, pull the belly in. Gently tilt forwards, extension through the spine. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. And then once more, working through each vertebra, working up through the back. And tilt forwards. And then back to neutral. So from this position, we're going to open up laterally a little bit through the side body. So I'm just going to take my leg nearest to you. I'm going to go with my left foot, extend the leg out. At the same time, reach the left arm up and over. And now I'm coming into this nice lengthening through the side body. Pressing through the bottom arm, pulling the belly in, and then bring that top arm back down. Switch to the other side, extending the right leg, turning the foot so it places down onto the ground. Reach that top arm up and over and back down. You can just keep moving like you're swimming, reaching up and over. So I'm feeling this all the way from my outer hip, all the way laterally through the side body and into the shoulder. And then we'll come back down. Take the bum back towards your heels. And for this one, you might find you need to take the knees a little bit wider. You can have them closer together. Just do what feels good for you. And then once we're down here, we're going to walk the hands around to one side as far as you can. So again, we're getting that lateral body open, but what we want to do is press the bum back to the heels. So you'll notice as I reach across, I'm going to my left. My right bum cheek then wants to lift up, so I need to really press that down towards the heels and keep the head low. You can choose to hold on to one wrist, or you can just keep the hands separated. Again, do what feels good. Breathe in and out of the nose. And then we'll go to the center and all the way around to the other side. Again, pressing the bum back to the heels, walk the hands around, keep the head low. And then bring yourselves back up and we'll come to a tabletop. From here, we're going to go into a downward dog. And downward dog's just great because we're opening up through the calves and the hamstrings and the whole posterior of the body, but we're strengthening the shoulders and building more stability. So from here, we go tabletop, hook the toes, send the bum back to the heels, and then start to lift the hips, but keep the knees bent to begin with. So we're taking the chest towards the thighs and the spine is nice and flat and long. I'm going to pin my rib cage down so that I'm not flaring it out. So pin belly button to spine, rib cage locks in. Now from here, I might feel good to start to lift my hips a bit higher and notice the legs start to extend a bit more or the heels start to work down to where they can. This pose is not about getting your heels flat to the ground. So listen to your body, just work through the stages. The hips are up, shoulder blades wrap across the back. So I'm externally rotating my shoulders and really locking that position in place. Breathe in and out of the nose. Maybe start to walk through the feet, bend one leg, straighten the other and just keep switching. And as your body starts to open up a little bit more, you might be able to bring the body into a more open position by extending those legs.
But notice if I then extend my legs and my back and my shoulders compensate and I start rounding, we really want to draw those legs back into that slightly bent position. Breathe here, stay with it. It can feel quite intense if you don't spend much time in downward dog. For those of you that do yoga more frequently, you might find this quite a comfortable position to rest in and open the body. So then from here, I've worked the heels down to where they will go. The belly button pulls in. The shoulder blades are wrapped across the back. My head is active, but I'm looking back between my legs, so I'm not having to lift it up here. And then we're just going to walk the feet to the hands, bend the legs at any point. Again, not compensating through the back and really rounding. We want to take the belly towards the thighs. It's a compression. So from here, we're going to ragdoll, because everything feels pretty damn tight in the morning. So let's just keep these positions nice and soft. Hold the elbows, ragdoll about. Keep breathing, and then when you're ready, we'll curl up. So once we're standing up, what we're going to do from here is reach the arms up, full length through the body. Again, I'm going to pin my ribcage down and squeeze my butt. And then from here, we're going to fold down. So bend the legs, bring the hands down. See how that fold feels. Again, like we did in downward dog, once I'm here, it might feel good to start to lift the hips a little bit higher. So I'm hinging forward. What we want to avoid is having this huge gap between the stomach and the thighs, so that we're rounding and really trying to reach to the ground. Just let the body open up gradually over time. So let's think compression, belly to thighs, bend legs, lift the hips if that feels good. And then from there, we're going to step to a plank position and then lower the knees down. We're going to come all the way down to the floor onto our stomach. So from here, I'm going to lock and tuck the bum under. This is going to help stabilize my spine. What I don't want to do is sink the belly towards the ground and start arching through the back as I lower. So tuck the bum under, pull the lower belly in. And now we're just going to, with the hips open, bend the arms until the chest comes down. But again, I'm locked in nice and tight. Come onto the forearms and we'll go into a baby cobra. Press through the tops of the legs, length through the spine. And then if it feels good, we're going to press up into an upward dog. So the arms are extended, engaging through the tops of the legs, not sinking the body down into the ground, and definitely not hunching the shoulders either. So length, engage the whole body, press through the ground, eyes are forward, and then from there lift the hips, go back into a downward dog. Walk through the feet again, wiggle about, do what feels good. There's no wrong way of doing it as long as there's no pain. So I always like to go for a twist. I'm going to reach one hand to the opposite leg. That can be thigh, calf or ankle, and wherever you can get hold of that leg. Feel a bit of a rotation through the trunk of the body. So I'm going to start anchoring my body under the shoulder. Got a good couple of clicks there. And then switch. Take the hand to the opposite leg, anchor the body under the shoulder. Keep the hips level, so try not to lean across to one side. And then back into your downward dog from there. Walk the feet. We're going to ragdoll. Curl up. Reach up. This time as we reach up, we're going to add some lateral movement. So we're going to take hold of one wrist. Take a breath in, ground through both feet, and then reach across. Pull the belly in. Bring the body up as we inhale, switch the grip, and then reach across. Again, coming up, switching the wrist grip, reaching across, pressing through both legs as we come up, switch and reach. One more each side, reach across, and then it might feel good to bend the legs and just let the body fall down. Ragdoll about, come back up, reach across, bend the legs, fall down, and bring the body up. So we're going to go through some more extension and flexion from the spine for here. So take the hands, interlace the fingers, press them out, round through the shoulders, slightly tuck the chin, Similar to our cat pose. From here, take the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Draw the shoulders back, puff the chest out. So we're squeezing the shoulder blades back towards each other. Open the chest, squeeze the bum. So we're going into an extension through the upper back. And then in this position, we can also add a fold. So I can bend the legs and then take the arms up and over. This position, this grip with the hands is not going to be accessible for everyone if they've got tight shoulders. So what you can do is hold on to a towel, tea towel, anything behind. Take a grip, go for your fold, taking the arms up and over here. Really get into a nice deep position into the front of the shoulder, working into that shoulder extension. But you can do it with a towel or a band or hands together. If you've got the hands together, I want you to try and press the palms together, pin the shoulders back and then fold. And bend the legs or lift the hips. Curl back up. Reach the arms up. Still keep the hands interlaced, just press the palms up, squeeze the bum, and then bring them out in front and round out. Hands come behind, shoulders draw back, chest opens and fold. I always think it feels nice to wiggle about in this one as well. Obviously take hold of your towel if that's better. And then once more through, arms reach up. Keeping the fingers interlaced, round out at the front. Bring the hands behind, open the chest, or hold the towel and fold. So from here, we'll bring our bodies back up and we're going to work into our squat a little bit. So we take the feet just outside the hips and sit back into a squat, press the knees open. So whilst we're down into our squat position, you may start to notice a few things that don't feel quite right. And that might be that your heels are right up off the floor and you just can't get the ankles or the heels down right now. And that just might be limited range in your ankle. So if you can't physically get the heels to the floor, don't worry, just go to where you can. And just move around in that position. Once again, there should be no pain, so there shouldn't be any niggles inside the knees or any discomfort like that anywhere. And all we're doing is just building some heat into the ankles and into the hips by sitting here. If it's a position you tend to avoid or you find that you're sat in a car or a desk most of the time, then this might not feel so great, but it's good to get the body used to natural positions once again. Because when we were kids, this was easy. So, whilst we're sat here, you can obviously give yourself a little bit of help by using the hands or propping them behind you for a bit, but try not to rely on using the upper body to help with these positions too often, because obviously we're then compensating. So whilst we're here, let's have a little go at some twists. I'm going to hold one ankle and press the other knee open with the other elbow. If that feels enough, just continue to press that knee back out and then it draws back in. If you want to go a little bit further, we're going to take the hand onto the knee and press it open this way. Try not to hunch the shoulder into the face. So press the knee open, draw the shoulder down into the back. And then we'll switch, hand to the other leg. It can be elbow, pushing it out, or hands. And then we'll switch. And again. And then this time we're going to add a twist. So I'm going to hold the ankle, draw the elbow behind me. And in terms of rotation, the spine is going to work all the way down to the outer hip. So if this feels enough, stay there. If you want to go deeper, extend the arm, really opening the chest. Draw it back down and then switch. Can be elbow, obviously. And keep rotating. Notice if one side feels a little bit more restricted than the other. And then from here, we're just going to sit down onto our butts. So whilst we're sat down, I'm going to take you through some variations which will feel a little bit better being sat on our bum, and then we can obviously challenge them and bring ourselves into more of a squat. So then, whilst we're sat on the floor, all we're going to do from here is prop the body up nice and tall, tension through the belly, and we're going to take one knee into internal rotation in that hip, and just notice how that feels. and they might not move very far, and that's fine. You just work with what you've got. And gradually, as we start to warm into it a little bit more, I might start to take that knee a little bit closer to the ground. But what I don't want to do is start to turn my whole body with it. That's going to be compensating again. So we're trying to isolate and work into that hip. Keep the chest forwards, keep going through that internal rotation, and we'll add both now. So we'll go into our external and internal rotation. One knee goes out, one goes in. Okay, so if these feel good for now, just continue to move like this. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, have a bit of fun with it, we'll try this from a squat. So we're sat in a squat position, take one knee in and then back and switch. Just do a few of those first, notice how they feel. And then maybe we're going to challenge it and take internal and external together and bring ourselves back up. Switch to the other side, nice and slow, and back up. So again, we want to move slowly to build strength through that range or awareness as well. And the control in those positions. Slower I go, the harder it's going to be. And that's a fun little challenge that you can have a go with as well if you've not done that before. So obviously by doing that, we're going to be strengthening and working through the ankles, but also the hips internally and externally. So it's a good little movement sequence to add in. So from this squat position, I'm just going to sit here for a little bit longer. Some of you might be looking at me thinking, when's this going to end right now? But we want to try and spend more time in this position to help improve our movement and our mobility. So try and just start with a minute a day sat in a squat, gradually increase that time over time. Just notice how often actually you spend sat more hinged at the hip, so more in a chair, hinging from here, rounding through the back, hinging at the elbows all day. You know, if we're sat at a laptop or at a desk or in a car, so frequently, like so many of us are, the body starts to mimic those positions and get tight, and those then become those natural positions. So then I ask you to sit in a squat like this and it feels horrible. So the more I can get you to now sit in a squat like this again, you're going to help hopefully counteract some of those bad habits that your body has now formed from being stuck in less natural positions. Okay, we'll come out of that one now. So then from here, all we're going to do, just to finish off, is just hold onto our foot. Place your fingers between each toe. And then we're just going to move around in the foot and in the toes, just give them a little bit of a massage. From there, moving through the ankle, making circles. This is a pretty good toe stretch. Release that one, go on to the other. Place your fingers between your toes. Gives them a nice stretch, wiggle about, move around. And then give that a release as well. So I hope you find that little sequence useful. Maybe do it just whenever. Maybe if you're opening this for the first time now and it's morning, get on it now. If you enjoy this little flow, then please send me a message or write something in the comments for me. Maybe give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. You can tell I'm new to YouTube, can't you? And then on Instagram, obviously I'm the Hench Yogi, so follow me on there. Besides that, you can check out some of my classes on my schedule. So I've got some virtual classes running at the moment. I've got a mobility flow, power yoga, and yoga balance as well. So you can learn some cool, fun inversions on that class. Hopefully catch you soon. Thanks, guys.